All right, the AFC East breakdown this week. As a reminder, last year's standings, the Bills 11-6 won the division. In the playoffs, Patriots 10-7, also in the playoffs, wild card. Dolphins finished at 9-8, and the Jets, the lowly Jets, finished at 4-13. Jets. L's.
Jets gonna jet.
They will. And they probably will continue to do so. First, we'll start off with the Bills. Key losses. Lost cornerback Levi Wallace to Steelers. Defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to the Vikings. Linebacker A.J. Klein was released. Lineman Darrell Williams was released. Along with some other linemen, Cole Beasley was released. And Star Latulele was also released from the defensive side of the ball. Key additions. They bring in Case Keenum from the Browns at quarterback to back up Josh Allen. They bring in O.J. Howard at tight end from the Buccaneers. They bring in a couple of linemen on the defensive side of the ball, including Shaq Lawson on the defensive side from the Jets. They also bring in Daquan Jones from the Panthers, as well as Von Miller, probably their biggest signing in the offseason, to play on that edge rushing area. And they also bring in Jameson Crowder from the Jets at wide receiver.
So where did Cole Beasley go? Do we know? I always kind of thought he was a decent wide receiver.
He's not bad. He's good. He's a good number 3 or 4.
But
So
I think this is a definite.
I'm looking. I just don't know.
I don't know that he signed anywhere.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he's a free agent.
He might get signed mid to late season.
Yeah,
if he doesn't want to retire. I mean, who knows? Bills on the offensive side of the ball, we have Josh Allen at quarterback, Devin Singletary at running back, Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie, Gabriel Davis at the wide receiver slots, and Dawson Knox and O.J. Howard at tight end. Assumed to be the strength of this team is the offensive side of the ball behind Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think with the addition of Duke Johnson at that running back and Jameson Crowder at wide receiver, they got a little bit of depth there. I think those were good additions for that offense as well.
Did you all see where Josh Allen called Isaiah McKenzie a little muscle hamster?
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah, he said Isaiah McKenzie just keeps making plays for our offense. He's a little muscle hamster.
I like it.
I think that's I want to be.
You want to be the muscle hamster?
A muscle hamster.
You were the show's muscle hamster, buddy. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
The show is now hamster related. On the defensive side of the ball, they've got Daquan Jones at tackle, obviously Von Miller discussed earlier, Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker, Tre'Davious White at cornerback, and Jordan Poyer at the strong safety spot. Defensively, I mean, they did enough last year, obviously, to do what they had to do, and Von Miller coming in is supposed to be a big addition for them. Hopefully that pans out in the end for the Bills. Questions for this team. Will Josh Allen show that he's a guy and be a true MVP candidate this season?
I'm leaving that to Muffneck.
Okay. Moving along, can the defense slow down opponents to allow the offense to do its thing?
Yeah, I think they'll do well with Von Miller as well as a veteran captain.
All right. And will the running game be able to keep defenses from pinning their ears back and attacking Josh Allen all year?
Yes.
Jim, thoughts? Bills?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good addition. I think that defense is what the area that they lack in a division that they need a defense. I don't think they'll push them over the edge for Super Bowl. If you want my God's honest truth.
Hand to God, Jim does not think the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
I think the defensive side of the ball is where I'm concerned. Von Miller's great. Von Miller's also slightly not old, like
he's older.
He's older, and I'm just curious if how they're going to manage his load throughout the season. That's my concern. Next, moving on to the Patriots and Belichick. We talk football. We're going to do stuff. Losses for the Patriots: Chase Winovich on the defensive line, quarterback J.C. Jackson, lineman Ted Karras. Gunnar Olszewski goes to the Steelers and makes an immediate impact in first preseason game.
I was just going to say, yeah.
They released Kyle Van Noy, who many did not think that was going to happen. because he was like one of Bill's guys. So that'll be interesting. For fullback Jacob Johnson, which is interesting because they do not have a fullback in their offensive scheme this year. They also lost running back Brandon Bolden to the Raiders and lineman Shaq Mason to the Bucks. Additions for the Patriots: linebacker Mac Wilson as part of a trade with the Browns, quarterback Terrence Mitchell from the Texans, Ty Montgomery from the Saints, and Malcolm Butler coming over from the Cardinals on the defensive side of the ball at cornerback. They also re-signed Brian Hoyer, James White, Trent Brown, James Ferentz.
James White just retired,
Oh, did he?
right?
Maybe.
Hold, please. Maybe not.
Devin McCourty at safety, the special teams guru Matthew Slater, and Nick Folk kicking the ball. Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. I think he did retire.
He did. Yeah.
So
I said it. No one agreed. I got nervous. Yeah, he retired. He had that season-ending hip injury last year, and then I think my guess is he came back and just kind of
just decided it was time. Maybe he participated in camp in a few days and was like, this isn't going to work.
He basically just said it's been an honor to represent my family, teammates, and the people in New England, blah, blah, blah. Just basically that it's time. He wants to be with his family.
Good for him. On the offensive side of the ball, the Patriots have Mac Jones, who?
Mac Jones.
At quarterback, running back Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, and Ty Montgomery, all in that backfield. Wide receiver spots, they have Devontae Parker, who came over from the Dolphins, Nelson Aguilar, who came over from the Eagles, and they welcome back Jacoby Myers, who had a breakout year last year. And at tight end, they have Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith.
Johnny Smith, he came from the Browns, right?
Sounds correct.
Or no, Titans?
Sure.
No.
You can figure that out later if you want. He came from somewhere that was not in New England.
He was not originally there. Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's the one. So that's looking on the offensive side of the ball. I think Ty Montgomery is a good pickup for them. He's gonna fit in well to that amoeba running back scheme. The defensive side of the ball, they have Matthew Judon and Devin.
Amoeba?
Yeah. Like,
it's just an amoebic mass
Okay.
where you never know who's going to be it. They're all, it's like the law firm used to be, right?
like phagocytosis.
Jarvis Green Ellis and all that.
All right. Carry on.
You can learn about science on this show too, Jim.
Sure.
Just got to open your ears and listen. So, like an Alex talks about an avulsion fracture, you learned.
Oh, God. Let's keep going.
Questions for the Patriots. Are the receiving threats for Mac Jones enough after losing N'Keal Harry and Kobe Myers? Is he going to continue his good year? No.
I don't think he'll be bad. But I think he's missing something at wideout.
Yes.
I think that Devontae Parker is going to have a resurgent career with the Patriots.
Well, I mean, he's going to, because he's going to be the guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not playing like if he was on a team with other good wide receivers. I don't know that I would believe that statement. But out of him, Nelson Aguilar, and Jacoby Myers, I think, he's going to be the guy, and you're fine.
I think it's because he had Tua throw to him last year. Is the defense going to hold up? Obviously, the defense has typically been a bend, don't break mentality, and they're usually coming up with key turnovers at opportune times. Do we think that's going to happen this year?
I think it's going to be the same philosophy. Bend, don't break. I don't know how long Belichick can go without star weapons on either side of the ball.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of coming up with a new generation of will they be stars right now, which could be an issue. So I'm with you there. I think the defense is going to be serviceable, but they're not going to stand out and do anything to put the team over the top. Which leads to the last question: over under 10 wins.
Under.
Undies all around. Next we go to the Dolphins. Key losses: Jacoby Brissett goes to the Browns, where he may be playing more than he expected. Duke Johnson to the Bills, and guard Greg Mans to the Bills as well.
Matt Collins?
Along with Matt Collins to the Raiders at wide receiver.
I liked Matt Collins. That's the only reason I bring that point up.
Okay. Key additions. Obviously, they welcome Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs. They brought in Taron Armstead, an offensive tackle from the Saints. They brought in Chase Edmonds from the Cardinals. They brought in Teddy Bridgewater from the Broncos. They brought in Raheem Mostert from the Niners. They had a lot of additions to this team, which is why people were thinking they're ready to make the jump to be competitive in the division now, not next year, now. On the offensive side of the ball, obviously we got Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. We have Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Sony Michel at running back. I did not realize Sony Michel was there until I looked at the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and at wide receiver they got Tyreek Hill, who joins Jalen Waddle from last year, and at tight end they have Mike Gesicki.
On paper, with minus Tua, that looks like a really good offense.
Hey.
Nice. I agree, Alex.
Hey.
Tua's serviceable, but he's not good.
I can't wait for you two to eat your words.
I'm not saying I
Cannot
just said
wait.
Tua's serviceable, but not good. He's not going to be.
He will be good
He will win 5 years from
this
now.
season. This season, you'll
What's
see.
good? What's good? What's good? I need to know what good is. I need you to define good.
I think he could have 10, 11 win season.
That's him alone. No, if he didn't have all these great talent around him, no. If he had a mediocre core around him, he
Is
would.
Mac Jones good?
No, he's serviceable.
If Mac Jones was on the Dolphins, would he be good?
Mac Jones was a rookie last year. Mac Jones,
I would rather have Mac Jones than Tua.
I agree. Give me Mac Jones over Tua. Remember, Mac Jones was a rookie last year. Tua, this is his third year.
And had nothing around him.
Well, okay. If Devontae Parker becomes...
And they were trying to tank the season, remember?
Who's they? Their head coach was
The
not trying.
ownership.
Their head coach was not trying.
Okay.
Anyway, Tua
Hey,
sucks. And
Tyreek
going on
Hill
the defense.
and Jalen Waddle are going to make Tua look really good.
If he can throw the
Yards
ball.
after catch.
Throw him the ball.
Okay.
Defensive side, they got Raekwon Davis at tackle and Xavier Howard, who at the time he signed was the highest paid cornerback until the Browns paid whoever they paid. So there's that. Is this Tua's year to impress the NFL, Jim?
Yes.
And by impressive, is this by stat line or by wins?
Both.
Ooh, both. 10 or 11 wins. So if he puts up Jimmy G like numbers, does that make him good?
Yeah.
Okay, remember that, Alex. Remember that when Mitch Trubisky puts up those kind of numbers and Jim has to say that he's good.
My problem with the situation is it's going to be skewed because he can dump a 2-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill can make magic happen and go for 98, and it looks like Tua threw for 300 yards.
Don't care.
Okay.
Mike
As long
McDaniel,
as you just don't care.
yeah, Mike McDaniel. I mean, he could make a lot of things really good there. He has a potential. Will Tyreek Hill still be a dangerous weapon in the league without Patrick Mahomes throwing?
Yes.
Yes.
This is where I'm going to disagree with both of you. I think that Tyreek Hill is going to have a down season comparatively. I'm not going to say he's going to have a terrible individual season, but compared to what he did in Kansas City, I think it's going to be worse.
All right. So to pull a you on yourself, what is a down year?
For Tyreek in this offense, I think a down year is going to be less than 100 receptions and less than 1,100 yards.
Write this down, somebody. I'm going to come back to episode 151, and I'm going to hold Muff accountable at the end of the season.
Okay. I said that would be him having the season.
Fair enough. I cannot wait.
Oh, remember, Jim, write that down because you're the best at remembering to write things down.
I know, right?
Hold on. What was the stat line?
Alex, this is Jim's burden to carry.
I'm going to carry it.
Okay. Never mind. I won't write it down in my notebook.
Is Mike McDaniels ready to make this team a true competitor in the division?
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly,
Do we even have to cover this?
We're going to talk about them just because I think we have to at least say something.
God.
The Jets are in the AFC East. All right.
Good. We did it. Good job.
They've got players. They drafted Brees Hall. Zach Wilson's there still. Jim, they have a wide receiver that you should want to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, no, don't care.
Okay, and they drafted Sauce Gardner also.
Yeah.
I think the biggest pickup was CJ
Uzama.
Uzma.
Uzama.
Yeah, sure. If that's how you want to say it.
I think that's how they say it.
He was
So-
good for the Bengals. So
I think that's the biggest pickup.
Okay.
Other than that,
Sauce Gardner will be good.
Yeah, he's playing.
Brees
for
Hall
Jets.
has good potential. Zach Wilson's not terrible.
Garrett
mean-
Wilson's good. I mean,
Is he?
There
What
we
kind
go.
of numbers is he going to have then, Jim?
I don't think he'll have great, numbers in the NFL. He was great in college.
Oh, so he's not good yet then.
We'll see. It's a wait and see. But
It's-
like, he's on the Jets.
You just said he was good.
He is a good receiver. He's
Here we
on
go.
the Jets.
Well, you could tell it's getting close to football season because we're all getting slightly more impassioned by our opinions.
Exactly.
Like before, like in the first couple, we're like, yeah, might be, maybe. Now we're like, can see it, and it's like blood.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about with the Jets? Is it
Nope.
worth it?
Nope.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, if you're listening, let us know what you think about the Jets.
Yeah, you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, you tell us what we should have been talking about. Which brings us to our projected standings in the AFC East.
Start with Alex.
Start with Alex.
Okay. I say the Bills go 15-2.
Ooh.
The Dolphins go 9-8. The Patriots go 8-9, and the Jets go 5-12. I'm going to give them some hope.
Those are some big numbers,
That's
Yeah.
that's
Big
a
numbers.
solid Bills season.
right?
All that takes is a
I'm
Josh
telling
Allen
you.
injury to
Listen.
put that in the shitter.
Well, yeah, but I picked my thing based on no injuries. I'm not thinking like, well, you know what, someone's going to get hurt.
It's the NFL. People always get hurt.
I'm sorry, but I think they're going to. I would not be surprised if they're going to run their conference. So there's 6 wins right there.
Jim?
I got the Bills at 13-4, Dolphins at 10-7, Patriots at 9-8, Jets at 3-14, and that's just because I felt bad.
We all have the same order. It's just the wins are different. I have the Bills at 12-5, winning the
Too
division.
low.
I have the Dolphins at 9-8. The Patriots I have also at 9-8, and I have the Jets at 4-13. Somewhere right in the middle of that 3-5 mark that Jim and Alex had.
I think the Bills don't go any lower than 14 wins.
Write that down.
Episode 151 is where we talk a lot of shit, and we better be held accountable for it.
We'll do a review of episode 151.
Yeah,
It's like, I mean, people hold Stephen A. Smith accountable a month later.
yeah, we need to be held accountable for this one.
Yeah, we're setting a good example, Muff.
Held accountable. The listeners have to hold us accountable. We don't have to hold each other accountable.
That's true.
This ways.
Good
All right.
grief.
And that wraps up the AFC East and the NFL talk this week. In this week's edition of
The off season.